Chapter 12. City in the Park. Lily plodded up the hill toward Golden Gate Park. The streets weren't as crowded as they'd been earlier, but every so often Lily passed someone hurrying back toward Chinatown. Maybe they were hoping to save their family papers, like May. Lily hoped they'd find their way past the soldiers, get what they needed, and stayed safe. Where was May? Lily searched every doorway she passed. Once she got away from Chinatown, the streets grew busier. Families gathered around stoves they dragged outside or built out of stones. They fried bacon and stirred pots, watching the fires spread in the distance. Bacon! Ranger was hungry. Scents of smoked meat and chicken stew mingled with the ash from the fires. All the families gathered around their homemade brick ovens reminded him of cooking out on the patio with Luke and Sadie and their parents. Those fires were full of rich smells and easy laughter, but it wasn't like that now. Here, good scents mingled with other smells, crumbling buildings, bitter smoke, and death. They passed several horses that had been crushed under fallen walls. Ranger walked close to Lily, nudging her away from the buildings that seemed to be settling from the quake. Ranger sniffed at the doll sticking out from Lily's bundle of clothes. He sniffed again and got so close to Lily that he tripped over his feet. "What are you doing, dog?" Lily asked. She stopped, looked at the doll, took the doll from the sack, and looked at it. Then she held it out to Ranger. "Are you after May's doll?" Ranger sniffed again. "We need to find her. Where is she?" Lily asked. "Find." Ranger barked. He sniffed in the air and the ground for any other trace of May's scent. But if she'd escaped Chinatown before the blast began, she hadn't come this way. After a few blocks, Lily sighed and tucked the doll back into her bundle. She kept watching for May, but there was no sign of her friend. Lily wasn't even sure which direction she was headed anymore. Her eyes burned, her feet ached, her hands were cramped, and her arms trembled from carrying the birdcage and the bundle of clothes so far. Every few blocks, another fire or blocked-off street turned her around. Finally, she found her way back to Market Street and climbed the long hill to Golden Gate Park. When she arrived, the entire city was there. At least it seemed that way. The army had opened relief stations. Tired-looking people stood in long lines that snaked around buildings and trees. Lily stepped up to an officer who was watching the line. "Excuse me, I'm looking for my friend." "Ha!" The man laughed and swept his arm out over the mob. "Good luck." Lily didn't give up. "She'd be with her brother, I think, and he's hurt. Is there a hospital? Some place where the injured are being tended?" The man tipped his head toward the mob. "Hospital 10 over yonder." Then he looked down at Lily. "But they've moved the Chinese to a separate camp at the Presetto." He pointed to the other way. Lily was confused. "But the doctor at Mechanic's Pavilion said—" "You're not going to find your people here," the soldier said. "You best be on your way." And as he turned back to the bread line, tears stung Lily's eyes. Her stomach ached with hunger, but she took Ranger's collar and whispered, "Come on, dog," and squeezed through the crowd in the direction the officer had pointed. Lily grabbed the birdcage so tightly her hand cramped. Every part of her felt angry and clenched. Why wasn't Lee being cared for where the doctors had sent him? What kind of city took the time to sort and separate people when everyone was hurting so much? Ranger nudged Lily's hand. She ignored him at first, but then he muzzled again, and she stopped for a moment. She put down the birdcage and her bundle of clothes, dropped to her knees beside him, and let herself cry. Ranger leaned against her as she sobbed. When he licked her cheek, Lily stiffened and took a deep breath. Then she stood and picked up her things. "We'll find Lee and May at the Presidio," she told Ranger. Her voice sounded certain and true, but she'd never felt more alone in her life.